everyone, it's Wacky Anime What If here to present you with part 2 of What If Issei Had the Anime System. Let's go ahead and get into this. Currently, Issei has just finished his spaghetti, and he honestly felt like it would taste a little different. So he looks at Josuke and says, what happened to the spaghetti? What was in this? And Josuke says, oh, I don't know, Tony made it. And he's like, Tony sounds like the name of a drug dealer. And immediately Josuke says, no, Tony's the restaurant owner. You met him before, right? Tony just pops his head out of the kitchen and says, anyone call me? And immediately Issei says, I didn't call you, Tony, but what was in that spaghetti? Because I gotta go, and all of a sudden, he feels like he's about to shit himself. His stomach starts growling, and everyone starts looking at him. And he just yeets himself to the restroom. He runs to that restroom at Mach speed. An hour later, he comes out of the restroom. Someone goes into it, and they pass out. And Issei says, I feel a lot better now. So, what else was there? Immediately, Tony says, oh, here's your dessert. And immediately gives him ice cream with some water, with some soda next to it. Immediately, he starts to drink the soda. And his eyes start tearing up. And they start to literally squish together, and all the water in his eyes is just pouring out. And he starts wondering, what the fuck is going on? He starts screaming that out while everyone's just looking at him in shock. Until he immediately has no bags under his eyes anymore. And he starts thinking, whoa, what just happened? System, what was that? And immediately the system just popped up and said, oh, Tony's a stand user. All the food he makes helps people with their health, but it also does weird stuff. He says, yeah, I'm not eating any more food. But Tony says, but the ice cream's literally the best thing you could get. And he says, I don't need it. In his mind, he starts screaming, I need it. He immediately gets out a spoon and he starts eating the ice cream faster than Goku could eat a whole feast. And right when he does that, Josuke looks him in the eyes and says, how do you eat so quickly? And Issei just says, well, I'm a bottomless pit. That's all I can say. While Tony says, impressive. Now here's the bill. And he gives Issei a bill. And Issei just looks at Tony and says, Josuke said he was paying. And Josuke just says, yeah, about that? I thought I said that you're paying for both of us. And immediately Issei says, wait, I have a secret technique for this one occasion since I don't have any money. It's Nigarendeyo. He starts running himself out of the restaurant while Tony just breaks out a stand and starts trying to barrage him with vegetables and fruits. While Josuke just pays for the bill and says, I was just joking. Immediately Issei just comes back and says, wow, I thought I was going to have to actually run all the way out of the store. And immediately Josuke says, no, I was just joking about me actually paying it. I just said that so he come back. Tony immediately just looks at him and says, yeah, you're coming with me. He has like a scary face and he has like a kitchen knife next to him. Immediately Issei says, what have you done to me, Josuke? Josuke just has like this friendly smile and says, you're fucked. A few hours later, and a lot of dishes to wash, he immediately gets out of Tony's restaurant and is not banned, but his least favorite customer now. He immediately looks at Josuke and says, so, anything I should know about this town? Josuke says, well, there's a serial killer known as Yoshikage Kira. Actually, I came over here to tell Tony about new information about him. Especially the fact that he's apparently changed his face, so we don't know what he looks like anymore. You should be careful too. And immediately a quest pops up directly in front of Issei. A screen pops up and it says, Quest. Befriend Josuke and his friends. Quest 2. Find Yoshikage Kira. Immediately when he looks at these two quests, he just says, oh, well, this is going to be fun. He starts to walk away. Right when he does walk away from Josuke, he starts thinking he should go to the house that he was at before. He goes there, he gets some rest, and then he starts having some dreams about his family. He has a dream that he's a kid again. He's hanging out with his family. He's having a wonderful time. They're playing ball. His mom and dad are playing ball with him. He throws the ball to his mom. His mom throws it to his dad, and his dad throws it to him. The only thing is, when Issei catches the ball with both hands, he looks down and he feels something squishy. It's not a ball, it's his father's head. And he looks up and he sees the entire area distorted. The trees, the grass that he was on was distorting, turning dark. And he looks in front of him and he just sees the man who killed his mom and dad said, "Come on, be a good boy and throw the head back." And immediately Issei screams with all of his might, and he wakes up in the real world, sweating up a storm. And he says, "System, if I manage to do these quests, could I manage to fight the man that killed my family? Could I?" And immediately System says, "You could, but you'll need a lot more power. You'll need to train a lot more. Also, you need to get some bitches on your team." And immediately when the System says that, he says, "Isn't that a GT?" And before he could finish that, Josuke literally knocks on his door. He hears a knock on the door, and he figures it's Josuke. He walks towards the door. He opens it immediately, and he sees this man who is right in front of him, but he has black hair, spiky hair, and a muscular build with dark eyes that have dark intentions. And immediately the man says, "Could you please shut up? After all, I'm trying to have my quiet life as I desire. And you're in the way of that. So if you cannot be quiet, then I could make sure that you stay quiet." And Issei just says, "Did you just threaten me?" While he said, "No, I was just saying that I could make you quiet down a little bit by calling the police, maybe, for noise complaints. That's all I was suggesting." While Issei just looks at him and just says, "What's your name?" Immediately he says, "Oh, my name is," before he could say anything else, the screen popped up in front of both of them. And immediately Yoshikage Kira could see the screen, and it said, "Yoshikage Kira found." He immediately says, "Killer Queen!" While Issei just says, "Wait, Yoshikage Kira," and it says, "Reward, stand power unlocked." He had the stand, he just didn't manage to unlock it. So right when it said that, and he heard a voice in his head, he said, "The world, time is mine." And immediately when he said this, time stopped, and he saw a cat-like figure, humanoid figure beside the man. He went towards him as quickly as possible, and he said, "The world, get him!" And he just said, "Get this motherfucker, mollywop his ass!" And the world just puts up the smoke weed every day glasses, and he starts mudaing the absolute shit out of this man. He just does a 17-page muda on Kira. Yoshikage Kira gets flown all the way out of the house once time resumes, and he has fractures and bones broken everywhere. And he just says, "Well, good thing Josuke gave me his phone number." He calls Josuke and says, "Kira's at my house. I need you to go ahead and come here immediately, because if you don't, then he might escape, or he might just be dead before he get here." And Josuke just says, "Alright, I'll be there with some friends." He immediately gets all of his friends together, and they start going towards Issei. Back to Issei. He's running towards Yoshikage Kira. He's about to try to stop time again, but he realizes he can't. The system pops up and says, "Your time stop has a cooldown." He says, "What?" Before getting sucker punched by Killer Queen in the face, and he gets flown a few meters into his house. And he just gets up after falling to the ground from that punch and says, "Is that all you got?" While Yoshikage Kira just laughs and he says, "Killer Queen has touched you." While Issei just says, "Wait, he only touched me in the face. He didn't touch me inappropriately. Wait, are you a priest or something?" And he's like, "No, Killer Queen has touched you. And the first bomb has been planted." And he puts his hand up like he's about to press a detonator. And immediately Issei says, "Wait, what does he mean by that?" And the system pops up again and says, "The first bomb has been planted. If he presses his button down, you will explode." Issei immediately says, "No!" And right when he's about to press the button, Josuke starts rushing all the way beside him and punches the absolute shit out of Yoshikage Kira right to the side of the face. And he flies a few meters away to the right side into the street. Immediately he gets back up and says, "Oh, Josuke, I didn't want to meet you here. And I definitely didn't want to have to meet that guy over there with the intimidating aura. But the thing is, you're too late, Josuke. Once I press this button, he will cease to exist. He will cease living." He presses his button down, is about to press it, before immediately Issei starts laughing. And he says, "I just heard of a funny joke." And Yoshikage Kira said, "Humor me before I press this button, boy. What's the joke?" And immediately Issei says, "Your existence, the world." And right when he says this, time stops. He walks all the way towards them and says, "Now, come out, the world." The world recalls back out and he starts walking towards him and says, "Now, stomp him in the And immediately starts punching Yoshikage Kira in the family jewels. And you just hear "Muda, Muda, Muda," going like a Gatling gun right towards Yoshikage Kira's privates. And then he just kicks him in the nuts. And then he grabs him by the head and literally just says, "Yeet, bitch!" And he yeets him all the way towards an ambulance that's in the background that's rushing towards them that they didn't know about. And when time stops, Yoshikage Kira is in the middle of even further in the middle of the street back, screaming like a little girl, grabbing his family jewels, saying, "My Johnny boy," saying, "My bombs, my beautiful bombs." And immediately goes to the ground, screaming this, and he says, "But it doesn't matter, you're still gonna die." While he was on the ground, while putting his hand upward, saying, "First bomb." While about to press the button, an ambulance starts to go back up, starts to go straight forward into Yoshikage Kira, hitting him in the back of the head, making his neck twist. But his last moments, his last words were, "It's the ambulance!" And immediately dies. While Issei says, "Wow, I didn't expect that." But I say, I thought ambulances saved lives. That one was like, "Nope, your ass going to hell." Like, damn. Just like, damn. He just starts saying that over and over while Josuke says, I get it, that was brutal. Immediately, Issei says, "Hey, so I've been asking this, but why am I pixeling away?" And immediately starts fading away. And he's like, "Mr. Josuke, I don't want to go." While the system says, "Don't be dramatic, you're just going back to your world." While Issei says, "Oh, I'm fine. Apparently I'm going back to my world. Bye, Josuke." While Josuke says, "Bye." "Wait, what do you mean by your world?" And he just pops out of existence. And Josuke just looks behind him and sees Jotaro and all of his friends there. And he's like, "I have a lot of explaining to do, don't I?" And they're like, where the fuck did that? Is that a ghost? Like, how did he just pop out of existence? And that's where I'm going to end What If Issei Had the Anime System Part 2. I hope